I know social media is not to blame for, you know, everything, but I do know that it had a big impact on my sister and her mental health, and specifically body image. And, you know, something that is so infuriating to me is all of the doctored images that we are seeing constantly, and how they're just not real, you know? Or people have glam squads that make them look this way. They've got full teams, or, you know, there's so much editing that goes into it, and I think it can be really damaging for young people, and certainly Liv, to think that that is what reality is.
As a touring artist, musician, like, life on the road is brutal. But we post the highlights. It's the highlight reel. And I remembered, my family, people would write, "I want your life. That looks so amazing." Meanwhile, I was really struggling. This was, years ago, and I wasn't happy out there for a lot of reasons. And, it took for me finding a mental health regimen. For me, it was meditation, getting the right amount of sleep, talking to friends. I joined a Buddhist study program, so I always had a support of people. But I do remember, like, wow, here, I felt so dishonest putting out the highlight reel on Facebook, and realizing that, like, that was making some people feel kind of badly. But then you have that fine line where, as an artist and a performer, no one wants to hear, "This sucks today." And
right.
So, here you are, it's 2020, you've just lost your sister. 2 months later, the world shuts down. All you have is basically social media, your technology, your smartphone, your iPhone. How did you navigate that for yourself?
Yeah, it was interesting. It was, kind of twofold. I think, like the story feature on Instagram and the close friends feature was really interesting for me, because I was able to, like, do kind of these confessional things where I'm like, today is the worst. I don't know how I'm gonna get through today. I can't even get out of bed. And, my close friends would see it, and they would reach out, and we could have a conversation. And that was helpful, because sometimes, at that moment in time, I couldn't say, "Hey, I need you to support me right now. I'm really struggling." And so, that was a way for me to kind of figure out and navigate what I was feeling, and those who I trusted could come back and be like, "What's going on?" But also, like, after my sister died, I really curated my feed in a different way. I stopped following people that made me feel super bad about myself. I started following a lot of more like art accounts, or, people who I really respect and admire, or just like silly meme accounts, so that when I am scrolling, it's less of things that make me feel bad and more of things that fill my soul.
What would you say to another young person who's struggling with what Liv struggled with, what you've just expressed struggling with, like looking at social media and going, oh, like comparing yourself and feeling like a loser, you know, we do that.
Yeah.
We all do it.
Oh, it's the worst.
It's the worst.
It's the worst. And, I heard someone say recently, like, have you ever gone on social media and then felt better? And I was like, I don't think I have. I don't think so.
Is there a way to have, to go on social media and actually feel better?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so you've already pointed some things out, like these accounts where you can just kind of have your confessional, get some support. How do you think young people can have a healthier relationship with social media, especially people dealing with mental health issues? There's got to be a way in there that offers someone that support, that connectivity that you're talking about, without the toxicity.
I mean, I think the first thing I would say is, like, have a conversation with your friends about it, Back to that fearless conversation, like, I'm having a really hard time going on Instagram or TikTok and feeling this way. You might be surprised, because they might say the exact same thing.